Greetings, I'm Anthony, one half of the Printy Brothers. Together, Sean and I have decided to create a series where we print and paint every monster from the D&D Monster Manual. In this series, we'll be showing off cool 3D models, paint jobs for those models, the lore surrounding the monster, and ultimately, how to incorporate them into your games. Last time, Sean painted this awesome 𝐂𝐴𝐽. Today, I'm moving on to our second monster, the Aboleth. This model is from Titan Forge, who has some great stuff. Our characters from our Dragonbane actual play are also from them. And they didn't disappoint with an awesome sculpt for this insane beast. So while I get this thing cleaned up and primed, let's talk a little bit about this challenge itself. Are we actually going to print and paint all of the monsters? Well, yeah, of course. That's the whole point of the challenge. Well, maybe. Probably. We'll see. It is quite the undertaking. You'll have to subscribe to find out. It's certainly a fun project, and it's a good way to provide motivation to paint more. Now, I may not be the biggest fan of 5e, especially after the OGL fiasco, and I quite dislike the encounter and monster design. But I can say this. The Monster Manual is very fun to flip through, and can provide a lot of inspiration for your games. The stat blocks aren't my favorite. People create pretty cool versions of each monster online, but the lore and art is very interesting and fun to go through. Now, as far as the Aboleth itself goes, before this project I knew nothing about them. It's one of those entries I've always skipped over in the Monster Manual. I actually thought these things were flying creatures, but no, they're actually underwater creatures. They were first introduced in the Dwellers of the Forbidden City, which is an adventure module for AD&D released in 1980. This is also where the Yuan-Ti were introduced, who we won't get to until way later in this series, but we'll circle back to this book when we get there. Aboleths were further developed in Dragon Magazine 131. There it says Aboleths are very old, ancient creatures who dwell in the deep oceans of the Underdark. Quote, over their many years of existence, the Aboleth have developed a society which far exceeds that of man in its efficiency. In this society, each Aboleth has a specific duty which it performs with the utmost skill. There are 4 major roles in the Aboleth society. In increasing order of importance, these roles are slave gathering, slave maintenance, scientific research and experimentation, and ruling. Unquote. So the Aboleth live in highly advanced colonies where they continue to develop their already immense psychic abilities. And they enslave anyone who comes close. Pretty scary, actually. When I saw these things, I thought for sure they were just stupid, scary monsters. But the fact that they're actually extremely intelligent, I think makes them more scary. If you're enjoying this challenge so far, consider liking the video and subscribing so you can see what monsters we'll cover next. In 5e, the Aboleth are pretty similar. They are a CR 10 monster, if CR is any metric to go by. So they're meant for a slightly higher level party. A few other interesting things about the Aboleth. As mentioned earlier, the Aboleth are ancient creatures. No one knows exactly how old, but there was a time when they ruled the world, taking every other sentient creature as slaves. Their dominance ended when the gods appeared in the world. Many of the Aboleth were slain. What remains of that slaughter are the creatures seldom encountered in the modern world of D&D. aboleth also have perfect memories, and they pass their knowledge on through generations. So they remember exactly how they were wronged by the gods. Their main goal is kinda to take the gods down. When I look at the aboleth and read about them, it reminds me of the real world. Something like 95% of our oceans are yet to be explored. The scary part is, who knows what kind of horrors dwell down there. That's what the aboleth are to me. Unknown horrors that dwell at the bottom of the ocean. I think most players likely don't know a lot about them either. I know I didn't. So it'd be really fun to play with that. I think the fact that they're exceedingly intelligent could actually make for a shocking and horrifying reveal to the players, as long as they're not metagaming. Now, as far as my paint job, it's actually pretty simple. I base coated, then dry brushed, then washed. I love painting these kinds of large monsters because it's so easy and fun. Not a lot of precisely staying in the lines here, just simple and clean technique can produce an awesome result. This model also came with a cool water base that I painted up with similar techniques. I'm actually really happy with how it turned out. Now let's take a look at the final result. When I started with this monster, I thought the model looked awesome, but I didn't really care for the lore behind it. But after painting it up and looking into the lore for this video, I've had a bit of a change of heart. These things are actually pretty cool. I don't think I'll be mindlessly flipping past them anymore. They're certainly worth considering anytime you have a party venture into the ocean, and an aboleth might just show up in my next game. Next time, Sean will be painting an angel. Subscribe if you want to see that. Thanks for watching.